If you want civil war, you don't understand civil war. We all get fanciful ideas sometimes. My goal isn't to shame anyone with this piece, but I do want to expose how ignorant it is to advocate for civil war or even allude to your readiness for it. If you or someone you know has been thinking fondly of civil war, let me explain in the next few minutes why that's the last thing you would ever want. For starters, civil wars are generally the most violent and harmful wars, since it's internal between a single people. In other wars, the suffering is spread between two or more societies. In civil war, most of the suffering will be felt by single people. But America isn't just any country. What happens here would have severe ramifications across the planet. Let's start by talking about the economic harm. The American stock market and markets around the world would crash. The world would enter a new depression. People around the world would suffer as untold wealth would be wiped out. Banks would become insolvent, and Americans would lose their savings overnight. Supply chains would immediately become disrupted. Common goods you are used to would disappear from shelves, essentials and luxury items. Stores would shutter, and your local economy dissolve. Now let's discuss the violence. First, you must understand modern war is chaos. Technology has made our skill with weapons near insignificant. The killing power of modern weapons has turned war into a macabre game of hide and kill, with a heavy element of randomness, totally out of our control. Drones, IEDs, and missiles have made the warrior near obsolete. Even Marines cannot escape the chaos of modern war. We are not knights or samurai, where skill in arms would prove the deciding factor in life or death, victory or defeat. Not when a lucky artillery round can turn you into pink mist. I say this with the full understanding of its macabre and distasteful nature. Modern war is a meat grinder. Abraham Lincoln came to a dreadful realization during our first Civil War that would only become more true as time has passed. He sought a general that would understand the, quote, awful arithmetic, end quote, of the Civil War, meaning that war was becoming about the number of bodies you can throw at the enemy as much as it was about skill. There is a broad misconception about our Civil War that it was somehow neat and orderly. It was anything but. While the massive uniformed armies fought in the East, primarily in Virginia, out West, in the new states and burgeoning territories, it was a different kind of war. The fighting was personal, neighbor killing neighbor, up close, slow, with hate and purpose. That would be our second Civil War. If you want to see what it would be like, you need to look no further than the 1990s to Rwanda and the Balkans. See for yourself what happens when societies break down and people who live together for generations decide violence is the correct course. 900,000 people were killed in Rwanda in 90 days. That's the most violent period in modern history, and that was done mostly with machetes. I know we like to think that our skill with firearms makes us special, that we're the protagonists, the hero in our own great story, and that we and everyone we care about would be fine. But the reality is that it doesn't take too long to become proficient with a firearm, to learn how to make and plant explosives, to fire and move, and to set up a defense. And all it takes is one bullet, one wrong step for everything to change. Maybe you've been someone who's thought civil war was a good idea. Maybe you've heard someone else say it. But now you know better, and you can inform them about why civil war is the last thing you would ever want to happen. This is Andrew's take. See you next time.